everyone, and thanks for joining us again for another episode of Title Talk. Today we have a fantastic guest on the show. We have Rodney Barreto. He's the CEO of Gables Title and Escrow. He's the CEO of the Barreto Group, and he's the chairman of the South Florida Super Bowl Committee. That's right. Rodney is responsible for getting the Super Bowl to Miami. Routinely, by the way. This is like his 5th Super Bowl, so it's almost old hat for Rodney to get Super Bowls. Rodney, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Rich. Good to join you.
So people are excited to talk about this because people love football, right? We're a football town despite the Heat's recent successes. And tell us a little bit about what it's like to try and get a Super Bowl. How do you wake up one day and say, you know what, we're bringing Super Bowl to town? How does that happen?
Well, it's a group of private sector folks in the private sector to come together. There's about 5 of us, and we actually put the bid together. And it's not a small bid; it's a voluminous bid. And it's about 500 pages, and then we go pitch the owners. And it's an interesting process, and one that we've done a lot. You know that Miami will now host the 11th Super Bowl, and that's an NFL record. So we're the city that's hosted more Super Bowls than the other city.
That's fantastic. And so we have the 2020 game.
That's correct.
Right, Super Bowl 52.
Yep.
With any luck, the Dolphins will be in there, I hope. Tell me a little bit about the impact for our city and the South Florida community from an event like that.
But that's what it's all about from my perspective, and that's why I enjoy being in it. I enjoy bringing all these folks. You're bringing corporate America, the best of corporate America, to your community. So they start right at your airport. People come into your airports. They go to your restaurants. They stay in your hotels. They rent a car. They lease a car. In today's world, they use Uber or Lyft. But it's about, we've hired an economist to do a study for us, and it's north of $450 million impact to our community. And if you can stop and think about that, some hotels make their whole year on the Super Bowl week. So that just goes to show you the impact.
That's incredible. And so how do you think that translates, the impact of, and not just one Super Bowl, but like you said, Miami, we've had 11 Super Bowls. So being the city that's had the longest track record for Super Bowls, and it doesn't look like that's going to change, how do you think that translates into the impact on our real estate market?
Here's what I get. You're bringing corporate America to your community, and they're looking at this community. Now, I would argue that Miami is not the most exciting city in America. It's the most exciting city in the world. And so people come here already very impressed because, when you travel and you say, hey, I'm from Miami, they go, oh my God, you're from Miami? So you already have that going in your favor. And then you look at what does an NFL 30-second commercial cost in today's world? It's $5 million for a 30-second commercial. We will get over $100 million worth of free advertising for this community. Our skyline, our businesses, you'll see stuff from Broward County, Miami-Dade County, Palm Beach County, and the city of Miami in particular, because we're going to have Super Bowl live right downtown Miami. And so people will see that, and they're going to see the backdrop of these beautiful buildings and the bay and the weather, and they're just going to say, I got to go to Miami. Now, I'll tell you this, something that a lot of people don't know. There'll be 50,000 people here on top of the 65,000 that are going to go to the game, that are here just for the parties. And they come because it's Super Bowl Miami, and we're going to go party in Miami for a week. And that's what brings and drives all the economies for South Florida.
That is very cool. Now, your family has a storied history in Miami and in South Florida. Tell us about the Metro Rail and your dad and how the land for the Metro Rail all came to be and that fantastic animal.
Well, I don't want to leave my mother out either, so let me.
Right.
My mother was born in Canada, moved here when she was 2 years old, and my dad was born in Key West and then moved up to Miami in 1946. And they met with Jesuit Catholic High School in downtown Miami. So they're high school sweethearts. My grandfather worked for the Florida East Coast Railroad. Then ultimately my dad went to go work for the Florida East Coast Railroad. He worked there for 52 years. And the right-of-way in which you see Metro Rail run on, my dad sold that to Miami-Dade County so that they could put Metro Rail.
So that land was all owned by the railroad.
Yep.
And your dad was running the railroad, and he arranged to sell that land to the county.
Yep.
That is very cool. So the Metro Rail, Rodney's dad, the Metro Rail. Yeah. And what about our New Year's party here that recently Pitbull hosted it a few years back?
The Big Orange.
The Big Orange.
So
you started the Big Orange.
I did 30 years ago, and I saw a void. And back in those days, you may not remember, but there used to be a parade in downtown Miami, right?
That was 10.
Okay,
I don't remember.
They had the Orange Bowl parade in downtown Miami. So all these people would come downtown Miami for the Orange Bowl parade. And then after the parade, they had nothing else to do. and it was New Year's Eve. And he said, well, what better could we do? Why don't we have a party in the park after the parade, so those people can roll from the parade, roll right into the park. So we started the Big Orange, and here it is, 30 years later, it's still going on and thriving, and now Pitbull hosts it. I had drinks with Pitbull not long ago and explained to him why we created the event and how it started and where it's gone to and where he's going to take it. So it was a great evening, but I'm proud of that accomplishment. I look back and say, wow, I left a little mark there in downtown Miami.
I would have loved to have seen that dinner. Can you imagine Rodney and Pitbull at dinner? Rodney's like, well, Pitbull, I started this 30 years ago with my family, and Pitbull's like, Dali.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Pretty much the way it went.
What a pairing.
Yeah.
Did he take his sunglasses off during the meal? He did? Okay, good. I like Pitbull.
He's actually a very humble guy.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah. What a great ambassador for our community.
That's good. Yeah, that's exactly right. He's a hometown guy, so we love him for that. That's good. Also, big proponent of what I think is the state's biggest resource, right? Our environment, our wildlife. So you were also the chairman of the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission.
Yeah, I was honored. Jeb Bush, when he was governor, appointed me, and then Governor Chris reappointed me for a 5-year term, and then I worked with Governor Scott. I was there for 10 years, but I was chairman for 7 of the 10 years, and we were able to reshape the whole Fish and Wildlife Agency as they know it today. And it's great. It's a great agency with a lot of dedicated employees who run that agency. We're very blessed.
And they keep our natural resources, right, protected, which of course translates to the real estate.
And absolutely, if you think about 1,000 people a day supposedly move into Florida, and a lot of them are moving here for lifestyle. And what is the lifestyle? The lifestyle is the natural resources we have, whether it's the bay or the Atlantic Ocean on the east side, or it's all the rivers and lakes that we have in Florida, and the wildlife, and just that's what people come here. They want to be able to bird watch. They want to be able to go boating. You know, we have more registered boats than any other state in America is here in Florida. A lot of people don't know that, but we are a big boating state. So marinas are a big business, but people here move here for the lifestyle, the weather and the lifestyle.
Well, and thanks to you, the lifestyle keeps getting better and better. We appreciate all you do for the community. Rodney's our CEO. We appreciate everything you do for us. Right? We're happy to go out there, and we want to close your files. And you know, this has been my favorite episode so far. Jesus is going to be annoyed by that, right? Because every time I bring someone on, he gets upset about what I refer to. Oh, this guy's a very special guest. But I told him, listen, don't even watch next week.
Right.
Like, you might shoot yourself after next week. You jump off a bridge.
Well, listen, Rich, you're doing a great job, and I'm very proud.
Thank you.
My son is your CFO.
Yes.
Bradley, and he's doing a great job.
Yes,
and
he is.
Thanks to your tutelage and bringing him along, he's blossoming really well. And you guys are doing a great job. So
thank you, my friend. We appreciate it. Onward and upward, as you say.
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Next week, we'll have another guest on. How do we outdo this week? But we will, or we won't, or we might. Or
we will. You'll bring me back on.
Exactly. So tune in next week. Thanks again. If you have any real estate issues or concerns, give us a call. Coral Gables Title and Escrow with Title Talk.